Welcome back to Paul's Railroad, everybody. Hey, if you guys follow my channel, you'll know about 2 videos ago, I made a video showing you how to use just plain old windshield washer fluid and use that to reduce your super cheap acrylic craft paints to run through your airbrush. And we painted up some coal cars to see if it worked, and it really worked out very well. I will put a link to that video right over somewhere up here. Anyhow, guys, if you hung out to the end of that video, then you saw me put the paint back into 2 paint jars. And guys, I did that for a reason. I wanted to see if that paint could sit for a week and not turn into that rubbery painty substance that we always get when I reduce these inexpensive craft paints with IPA. Well, I forgot about them, and it has been almost 3 weeks. So here they sit. This is the first time I've touched them. And what we're going to do today is we're going to see if it works. We're going to see if that paint is still viable. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to just take my trusty old airbrush, and we're going to see if we can use that paint to this airbrush. And yes, we're going to paint another hopper car. Why? Because I have tons of these. Another mistake hopper car here. That one's actually kind of cool. I might keep this one for use. But anyhow, guys, let's go over here and see if this paint is going to work or not. All right, here are our paints that we will be testing. And as you can see in this green one here, it appears that the windshield washer fluid has separated from the paint just a bit, and I bet you that it has done the same with our red paint. Now, if you remember from my previous video when I showed you how to use the windshield washer fluid to thin these paints, I had mentioned that this green paint here was of a similar viscosity that I find across the board for most of the acrylic craft paints that I use, and that the red one here was a bit on the thicker side. And that's why I chose to use these 2 paints for this experiment, to see how well it would keep for the different viscosities. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just shake these up, and I may end up using a paintbrush to help stir them up. Then of course we're going to run them through our strainer like I always do, and as I mention in every video, make sure you filter your paints, don't forget. So anyways, yeah, we're going to run through the strainer, we're going to load up our airbrush, and we're going to see if it works. Just that simple. So let's get started. We'll start with the light green one first, then we'll do the red one. Alright, well, here goes nothing. I don't know if you can see in there, but it looks to be okay. You know what? I am not even going to use the paintbrush. I'm just going to shake it up again. Okay. And let's just see how it strains. Well, it appears to be pouring just the same as it did 3 weeks ago when I first mixed it up. And as you can see, if you remember from that previous video, the interior of these bottles look pretty much the same as the other ones that we emptied out. That's a good sign so far. All right, load up our airbrush. And as always, I'm going to do a little test on the paper here first to get started. Oh my, oh my. Well, folks, I'm going to consider this to be a success, at least for the green paint. Let's let this dry for a minute and clean up, and then we'll go and give the red paint a try. What do you guys think is going to happen? I think it's going to work. Okay, on to the red paint, which was a thicker paint to begin with. Again, let's just give her a good shaking. Good enough. And let's see how it looks. Well, it looks pretty good so far. Let's see how it pours. And again, it pours just like it did the day I made it. Yeah, 3 weeks ago. Okay, load up the airbrush. Now we're going to have to purge this airbrush just a little bit because all I did was rinse it out. I did not do any cleaning because this is just an experiment, so I was not worried about any mixture of the colors. Well, on the paper it seems to work. Let's get our hopper car and give her a shot. Well, folks, success. That worked out really well. I am blown away. Well, it worked. As you can see, it painted just fine. 3 weeks ago, I mixed that paint with our windshield washer fluid, and it worked. Guys, I am so excited. If you can't tell, why am I excited? I'll mention it again. That means I can create a custom color, and I can take my time and paint my project. I don't have to be in a hurry like I would be if I used IPA to thin my paint with. Heck, I can come back 3 weeks from the start of that project and know that I could finish it with good paint. That is really exciting to me, guys, because that means I can take my time and do a good paint job. So, viability of long-term storage. I don't know. And to be quite honest, I'm not going to test it. I don't think I'll ever keep paint for very long. I'm going to mix up a color, I'm going to use it, and I'll just get rid of the rest of it. It's just the way I work. Now, if you want to give it a try, go ahead. Do some long-term storage tests on our method of mixing or thinning our paints with our windshield washer fluid. Let me know how it turns out, guys. Again, I'm excited. It worked so well. With that being said, guys, as always, thank you for spending your time with me. God bless, and happy railroading.